Hello and welcome to this short video tutorial about the new data structuring feature with custom columns of our little log analyzer that is called Retrospective. For this tutorial I have set up 4 servers that are generating log data. I'm doing this with a Python script that's using this cool little Python library Faker. Faker generates test data for us here for credit cards, for persons and for companies. This script is run in a Docker image, and I'm starting up 4 Docker containers. A server is generating person logs, B server is generating company logs, and C and D server are both generating credit card log data. I'm starting the 4 containers. Hopefully that goes up well. It does. And I have 4 running containers, each listening on a different port for SSH connections from Retrospective. So while our 4 test servers are happily generating test data for us, I'm starting Retrospective so we can give a look on this test data. In Retrospective I have prepared 4 host definitions, A, B, C and D server. They're all connecting with an SSH key to those running containers. In the profile manager, I have prepared a profile with 4 data sources matching these 4 servers. And so, opening up a new tab, we can give it a go. And we can see how Retrospective uses that predefined profile. I'm going into monitoring here. So we're performing sort of a multi-tail on these 4 servers, and the data displayed here is like sorted in a timely manner for us. There is the standard retrospective highlighting based on log levels. That is fine. So I'm stopping this monitoring because I want to talk about the new feature. There is the new button, enable field detection during search, which I activate. When I now start the monitoring, Retrospective is detecting name value pairs in the background and is generating regular expressions for us. So we can use this for structuring our data. When I stop the monitoring, I'm getting a hint on top. I can go to Profile Manager, and there on the bottom left side I have the columns that are defined for the result view. On the right side are my fields, and I can now add fields from the 4 data sources that have been detected. I could also do custom fields, but I want to work now with the detected ones. You can also do this for each data source individually when you add or configure them. I configure one now, a credit card log. There's a new wizard step. It visually shows you what has been found. You can add them here, but you only have the fields from that particular data source at this point. I don't do this because I want to work at the bottom where I have the fields from all data sources. I start to add those fields, the name. I can also add a field to an existing column. So I have fields from the same or from different data sources in the same column. That could be quite handy. So we have a name column with name and company fields from different data sources. Let's add some additional fields to this profile. Adding some credit card data now, currency, and most importantly the amount, and maybe the user agent as well. So I have my result view configured on the left. I can rearrange my columns. I'm putting some of the standard retrospective columns to the back and disabling the data column. Let's see what this did. I changed to search mode now. Start a search on the full data that has been written so far. And yes, it looks like we tabularized quite some data, but I'm not really happy with the names. They contain spaces or blank characters and they are not recognized. So we have to work on the regex statements that Retrospective has generated. They're always in the same way. There's a value group that should be extracted, and on the right of that there's the elements that can be contained in that value. I'm adding here now the space character in that regex statement because I would like to have the full names included in my column. And I do this for name and company. I should also do this for addresses because most likely we're going to have the same problem in the addresses. So that this is done, we're going to check, and yes, that looks much better. We have the full data in our columns now. Though there's still a problem with the companies. There are some company names with commas inside. Oh, that's no good. So we have to do something about that. I'll copy the whole example logline out of Retrospective, and I'm using an online regex testing website. There's loads of them. I like the regex101.com. I think that's a really good website for testing regex. I paste my logline into the test string field, and I'm getting the regex definition out of Retrospective for the company file field, and copy this out and paste it into the regular expression field. So I'm getting a visual feedback here, nicely colored, and I see the matches. I'm going to add a comma here because I want to have this comma to be part of my field. That's fine, but the whole data is comma separated, and it also takes the address part of the next. So I have to add here a little forward-looking regex part that basically says I only want commas that are not followed by the string address. That seems to work, and so we have the full company name. So I copy this expression back into my Retrospective field definition for company, and I'm using a little sub search on part of the company name because then we just have only log data with this in it. That seems to have worked fine, so we have the full company name. So I'm doing again a full search on all of the data, and I can now actually sort and manipulate the data in different ways in the Retrospective result view. I'm sorting them now date time wise because that's most appropriate for the export. You can export as Excel, comma separated, or text file. I'm doing the comma separated export now, accepting standard name, separator, max result entries. That's fine. Let's give it a go, and voila, here we're in Excel with our data. You could use any other data analysis tool or software, but for this low volume, Excel comes in quite handy actually. I'm polishing that a bit up so that it looks more pretty. Maybe additionally adding a freeze top row here. And here you go. We can now continue to work with our data in Excel. So that's it. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.